This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight on the forecast tracking rain ahead of a much more intense storm. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez. Taking a look at the live radar here, you can see some rain grazing northern Connecticut. That will stick around until tomorrow, but we're keeping an eye on Friday and the weekend. Always the weekend. Meteorologist Ryan Breton in for Rachel tonight. He has the breakdown of what we can expect. Ryan.
Well, Sarah, we'll just have some showers during the day tomorrow. I don't think we'll have much heavy rain. We're just getting into these showers you see here. But there's a big storm that's been going through the southeast today, more than 6 inches of rain in New Orleans. And now you can see this big area of rain and thunderstorms. This comes up tomorrow night, and the worst will actually hit during Friday morning's commute as that comes through. For tomorrow, I think we'll start the day with clouds and some patches of fog, especially on the shoreline. A chance for some showers late morning to about lunchtime, and then a little break in the showers develops in the afternoon before steadier and heavier rain eventually comes in tomorrow night. So the morning will have temperatures in the low 50s. It won't get all that chilly tonight with the clouds that are in place. We will get into the low 60s, especially inland tomorrow afternoon. Then that heavier rain comes in tomorrow night. So out the door in the morning, fog, a little mist and drizzle, and a few showers begin developing. But this lifts through. We probably get a break for a little while in the afternoon before more showers eventually turn into some heavier rain tomorrow night. And we're looking at a pretty good soaking here when you add it all up. The potential is there for 1 to 2 inches of rain with some locally higher amounts. We'll talk about when this gets out of here, the Yukon parade forecast too, all coming up. Sarah?
Thank you, Ryan. Hartford police say a massive force driving the gun violence in the capital city has been removed from the streets. Police have arrested more than a dozen people in organized crime groups known as Get Money Steppas. The police chief said today the community is a safer place now that these violent suspects are behind bars. Fox 61's Bridget Bjorlo has the details.
13 alleged gang members in custody for their role in a violent crime spree in Hartford and beyond.
These are some uniquely violent individuals that were responsible for creating dangerous conditions in the city. And that required a specific response from us.
Part of the organized crime group Get Money Steppas, also known as GMS, that police say is behind a string of homicides, shootings, drug deals, stolen vehicles, and arson.
And our community is a safer place today because of the 11 months of work by everyone here and by everyone that helped with this case.
The Hartford Police Department and State's Attorney's Office teamed up for an 11-month investigation into the group's criminal conduct, building a case against more than a dozen of its identified members, who are now charged with violating the Corrupt Organization and Racketeering Activity Act, among other crimes.
The members of this group were a massive force driving the gun violence in our city. The weapons used in many of these acts were altered in a manner that enabled the firearms to operate as fully automatic weapons.
At times, firing more than 100 rounds in a single shooting incident. So why did it take so long to remove these alleged repeat offenders from the streets?
People don't often want to cooperate with us while people are still out, and it kind of creates an impasse. That's the advantage to a case like this. Now we're able to remove those individuals. And that's why we're saying we're hopeful that we're going to be able to close some of our unsolved cases.
And while this concludes part of their investigation, detectives say their mission of holding violent criminals accountable continues, no matter how long it takes.
If you're going to commit an act like this and you think you got away with it because it's been 6 months or a year, we'll think again.
That was Fox 61's Bridget Bjorlo. 8 of the people charged are already in state or federal custody. The remaining 5 have been booked into jail. Some of their bonds are as high as $750,000. Staying in Hartford here, the Office of Inspector General is investigating the death of a woman who was in custody with the Hartford Police Department. Police say Linda Prelo was found unresponsive in her cell on Sunday, 2 days after she was arrested on 2 outstanding warrants. The police department gave her medical assistance while waiting on an ambulance. Prelo was pronounced dead. The medical examiner has not yet determined a cause of death. New details tonight about a deadly go-kart crash in Meriden. We brought you this story as breaking news last night at 10. Police now say a 6-year-old and 4-year-old were in a go-kart at Crowenberger Park last night. They collided and went under a closed gate. The 6-year-old was wearing a helmet but ultimately died. The 4-year-old was not seriously injured. Police say family members are cooperating with police. The city's mayor released a statement saying our community was shaken last night when we learned of the tragic death of a Meriden child. My thoughts and prayers are with his family at this difficult time. State police say a Bridgeport man was killed this morning in a fiery crash on Route 8 in Trumbull. Troopers say Marcos Rodriguez de Oliveira was driving a van around 4:45 this morning when he veered into the other lane, eventually crashing into a part of the White Plains Road overpass. Route 8 was closed for hours this morning on the southbound side. There's no structural damage to the overpass. It's not yet clear what caused him to crash. A Stamford judge has denied motions for an acquittal and a new trial in the case of Michelle Troconis. But there's one part of the motion he's willing to consider. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc was back in Stamford Superior Court today, and she has more on the judge's decision.
John Schoenhorn representing Michelle Troconis.
Audrey Thalson for Michelle Troconis.
Michelle Troconis once again facing a Stamford judge.
I'll note that my client is still in handcuffs. I ask that her handcuffs be removed.
This more than a month after she was found guilty by a jury of her peers on all 6 counts against her, connected to the death of Jennifer Farber-Dulos.
It was just pure speculation.
Now her attorneys feel there's cause to get rid of that conviction and try the case again.
The court is going to deny the motion for judgment of acquittal because the court determined that there was sufficient evidence to go to the jury on each one of the counts.
The judge also denied a motion for a new trial, but he is considering vacating one of the 2 conspiracy charges because of something called double jeopardy.
The defense has a colorable claim with respect to counts 2 and 4.
Counts 2 and 4, both dealing with conspiracy to commit tampering with physical evidence. But the judge won't make a decision on that until Troconis is sentenced.
The one for which there was absolutely no evidence is that there was a conspiracy to commit murder.
These rulings coming after hours of arguments from defense attorney John Schoenhorn, who feels the state did not have enough evidence to convict Troconis on every charge against her. Prosecutors disagree.
The standard isn't we have a different interpretation of the evidence. The standard is could any reasonable jury find the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Outside of court Wednesday, Troconis' sister and father speaking with reporters.
It's simply unfair that my sister is paying for someone else's crimes and that, being with the wrong guy made her a criminal.
Her remorse only is to fall in love with the wrong man at the wrong time and the wrong place.
Troconis remains in jail as her family says they can't afford to bail her out. For now, she's under protective custody, waiting for her sentencing.
She's mostly by herself. She's let out of her immediate area very seldom, except for legal calls and for visits and whatnot. It's more than just a shock.
Right now, Troconis faces a maximum of 50 years in prison, but if the judge vacates one of those counts, it could reduce the overall sentence. Now, that sentencing is set for May 31st. We are in Stamford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
New at 10 here, unions representing state correctional officers rallied inside the state capitol. They're calling on lawmakers to address safety issues and staff retention problems at state correctional institutions by passing a budget with additional funding. Union reps say legislation giving inmates more time out of their cells doesn't help officers manage the more than 10,000 prisoners behind bars, creating a danger to correctional officers.
We've had 2 attempted murders of on-duty correction officers, and not a peep out of anyone in this building, Democrat or Republican.
Another union representative noted their current contract with the state has nothing in it referencing worker safety. An important alert for Eversource customers tonight. It says service shutoffs are coming back in just over a month now. Eversource says power will be cut to homes not paying their bills starting May 2nd. That's regardless of hardship status. Eversource officials say they're returning to pre-pandemic rules, but account holders will receive ample notice before power is cut off. They're encouraging anyone with financial struggles to apply for bill assistance or contact them about a flexible payment plan.